So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our second virtual tour with the SAP champions today with Marssel Vilaça. I hope I pronounced it correctly, from Brazil. He was SAP mentor. He is now one of our fabulous SAP champions in the community. So he knows everything about community, and I think he's very happy and to help everyone here in the community. So the purpose of this call is really to give you an overview about the features of SAP Community from a community member's view, because you often hear it from us as SAP employees, but I think it's much better, or we think it's much better to hear it from the community, for the community. We have a really small group today with Bärbel, Abinat, Taiki, and my teammate Jerry here. But I think it's really nice to be a small group, because then we can answer directly questions from you, Abinat and Taiki. Bärbel is also SAP champion, and there's one thing I would like to ask you first, is to type in your community profile into the chat so that we can follow each other, and we can DM us each other in case there are further questions. This meeting is recorded and will be published on the community calls overview page after this event. So thank you, Marssel. The stage is yours.
Oh yes, Kathy, thank you very much. Let me share my screen here. Oh yes, I will put on the presentation. Let me hide here. Okay, let's start our community calls. And my topic here about the community calls today is how you can leverage your professional reputation by sharing knowledge in SAP Community. This is a way to show SAP Community as a partner in your career, just from a perspective of professional reputation, obtaining your professional reputation, okay? And this is the virtual tour, and my name is Marssel Vilaça. Here is the QR code of my SCN profile, SAP Community profile. I am enthusiast of SAP solution. I'm independent consultant, and I have helped 25 customers over 15 years in SAP career. And I'm certified by SAP ERP and S/4HANA on-premise, okay? I'm active member of SAP Community, blogger, and speaker in SAP Events. Well, I am in Brazil. I'm based in Brazil. 13 years married to Ana Paula, my wife, and I have 2 kids, Raul and Cleo, with 8 and 6 years old. I have written my blog forward here, and you can scan the QR code and access the community page to know more about my personal information there. Well, this is a short brief about my journey in SAP Community. I have started in 2007 as a fresher. I used to have 2 years experience in SAP. So during a call to an expert to ask for a question, and I was recommended to ask to SAP Community question answers at that time. So I found that interesting, because there was no platform available to have questions with experts worldwide. So I started to ask my questions, so I decided to contribute also. Then overnight, I received a t-shirt, this SAP Develop Network t-shirt like this. I have a completion in 250 points at that time. SAP was controlled by points. Gamification of SAP Community is improving time by time. So some programs over here is no longer available. Others will be available so far. So I was SAP Member of the Month in 2013, and During question and answer, I am sourced in SAP Community in question and answer. I love it to do question and answer. I was at that time, I was not a frequent blogger, so I received 2 certificate of appreciation of top leaders. And then I was invited to be part of SAP Mentors Group. That was an amazing experience to be part of SAP Mentor Group. So another reputation program, reputation recognition of SAP Community is the Community Hero. So I was selected as SAP Community Hero as well in 2008. And then last year, I was nominated SAP Champion. I was invited by nothing less than awesome Catherine Fisher. So thank you, Kat. And this is an outstanding group that can represent the SAP community. We have a lot of people, amazing people, bloggers, experts in every kind of areas. Okay, I have selected here 3 topics to discuss in this presentation. The importance of nurture a professional network in days of constant innovation. Professional authority is a reputation acquired by sharing knowledge. And I will talk about SAP Community as a sharing knowledge platform. Okay, let's start here with professional networking. So I put here the top secret because incredibly a big number of professionals are top secret professional. What do you mean? It's impossible to reach out some professional. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that even have a professional social media platform, has no profile, LinkedIn, no profile on SAP Community. When you try to find somebody, you cannot find them. And then people must understand that it's important to show up to the worldwide using the digital world. This is quite important. Maybe you are an employee or you are an independent professional, anything else that does not want to be bottled by, let's say, unknown persons, but it's important when you deal with people, people will try to search something from you, such as colleagues, co-workers, managers, customers, contractors, and you have to provide information that can lead people to you. This is the point here. Don't be a secret professional in the worldwide today. So following the idea, we need, why we need a professional platform, why we need to have a professional profile published. So because people is looking for assurance, people wants to know from you, and you have to understand that the real world is not the whole planet. The real world for you is the world that you can walk and you can go. So the digital world is much bigger. Digital world, you can reach out every part of the world once the internet can reach. So it's important to be present in the worldwide, the digital world like this. To follow this understanding, we have here digital world is bigger than real world. So gets you a professional that don't have any information about itself in this kind of a profile, professional social media. And this is a question that I have am making here. See, do you have a showcase? I can give you an example. A real estate broker. Who gets the real estate broker without a showcase? How the broker could sell properties without a showcase? We used to talk to, as a technology information professional, we used to deal with service. We need a showcase as well. We need to show people our capabilities. This is mandatorily today. Let's follow here professional authority. What is the professional authority? Professional authority is the best credential that you may have, And it is an important mental trigger for people. A mental trigger is the feature that can let your message to listeners perfectly well. If you have authority in any topic, you'll be more listening than other people. You have to pursue the authority in your profession every time. This is very important. Okay, and how can you obtain the authority in your professional? You can have this by good reputation acquisition. You need to have good reputation. So the good reputation nurture the authority of any professional. You have to publish good contents. You have to share your knowledge. You have to help people, and you have to share content applicable to professional and solve professionals' problems. So this is bring you recognition and good reputation. This will establish you as authority. You can be a book author. Many professionals that publish SAP Press books is an authority of that topic. And many bloggers, real bloggers, are known by the excellent contents. Okay, so keep in mind your good reputation brings you the authority to send your message to all these listeners in the world. I have to call attention here to answer some questions about the difference between digital influencer and to construct and build your professional reputation. This is two different stuffs here. Be a digital influencer. Influencer is an option. It's not a requirement. Like I mentioned there. A digital influencer today must invest much more time to be present to the followers, to create content to the followers. This is a kind of almost a profession. Okay, it's a role model. To construct your professional reputation, you don't need to be at the digital influencer frequency level. You have to focus on quality. You don't have to care about volume, like followers, like and viewers, but you have to keep in mind that all your content is addressed to qualified segment. Maybe if you post a blog or you write a book that few people can read, you have to take care about the few people. You have to provide the best quality as possible. You need to only want people at last to give a good impression of you, because when people try to search the professional content, what the professional can offer, they will have a quality back as an answer of that question. Okay. Advancing here, let's enter in SAP community with question and answer, blogs, mission, and events as a sharing knowledge platform. SAP Community is a unique platform. It's a platform that provides a lot of features for a specific area that it's SAP. And because this, by helping other people, sharing your knowledge, you collect back, you will be an authority on that topics. As I said before, good reputation is your authority, but you keep in mind that you have to do the right things, because bad reputation is the opposite direction. So keep in mind that you have to use these features as good as possible. I will tell you here, let me show from the SAP Champions what cache question and answer is. Okay.
There's no sound, right? Marcel?
Yeah, no sound.
Marcel, there's no
Okay.
sound.
Hi, Katie. The sound's not coming?
No.
Okay.
You have to turn on computer sound somewhere.
I understand. Let me remove here.
My colleagues use it
It's
on a
going
regular
out?
basis.
Yeah, now it is fine.
What I like best about Q&A is to help others.
I like to be able to go in and find people who are asking questions and being able to help them.
What I like from Q&A is when I see a lot of discussions and interaction in concrete questions. It means that there are a lot of people that want to help others, and suddenly you can also find new networking connections and so on.
Q&A for me, it transcends time. Anytime I have a question, I can go and have a look, and I can find various questions and answers from 10, 20 years ago, all providing valued information. I love it, and I use it, and my colleagues use it on a regular basis, on a daily basis actually.
Best in Q&A is that you can get the different angles on some topics. So it's not only one information that you get back, but different angles from the different persons with a different experience.
The best thing about Q&A is the interaction amongst people when you help others to solve the problems, and you are really impacting the career of the people of a community.
The Q&A is a good platform to provide answers and get feedback on the answer, and to understand how things work and if I'm right with that, what I'm working.
Question and answers. In my opinion, the good thing in the tool is the opportunity to increase the solution to the users. For example, when one guy put a question there, and the entire community working together, not only to reply and solve the problem, but to give sometimes much more than one option to solve the problem. And everybody works together, increasing the solution, and like a puzzle, everybody works together. And well, this is very, very, very interesting. Sometimes I say to my friends that in the question and answers, usually we bring a magic to the users that really need one good way. Sometimes they receive much more than 3 or 4 ways to solve the question.
When I get a problem, it can be solved, I can read it, and then I'm happy.
Great, awesome. All credits to Jerry. Jerry is incredible director here. I had the opportunity in Las Vegas to follow the preparation of the set of recordings. Outstanding. Great. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Marcel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Me too. And question and answer tips. If you are a fresher, you are starting to participate in question and answer, or if you are a frequent participation of SAP community, let me check here the feedbacks. Fine. And I have 2 tips here. If you are experienced, my source in SAP community is in question and answer, so I'm suspicious to speak about question and answer. I love it. I recommend you follow a tag, SAP Community, arrange topics, arrange subjects using tags is the way to cross different topics. And this is easier to find any topic. And you have to select your tags, such as S/4HANA financials, ERP financials, logistics, and so on. So you have to select 2 answered questions daily, and have a read on that questions. Understand the logic of the question and answers interactions. A lot of people interact there. There's a kind of conduct code. For example, personally, when I enter in a question that somebody else is answering, I don't interfere. Once if the response was not given, I let the opportunity to other people give response as well. So you understand something like this, just reading the questions. And try, as an exercise, try to answer one question in a weekly basis for the first contact, right? Open there, check a solution and solve the solution and try to answer this. This is the best way to get started on this. Let's see, blogs. Blogs is another outstanding stuff is here. Let me show you here the blogs, what the SAP champions are talking about blogs. Let me reduce this screen here. Okay, why blogging?
Blogs for me are addictive. Absolutely great to read and write, and gives you a chance to be artistic as well.
Blogging is great. You get to know the people in the community that way.
Blogging means helping people to know about your experience.
Blogging is a great opportunity to share knowledge.
Blogging is to expand your knowledge.
Blogging is learning.
Blogging is very interesting.
Blogging is for me to change my role and go deeper than I would. So, yeah. It's my deep dive.
Blogging is the true spirit of the community. It's when we express our solutions, our knowledge, our experience to all people engaged in the community.
Yes, so that is blog. Let me check the chat here. Okay. Okay, blog it forward. Okay, I was just checking here the chats if there is an addressed questions. So this is blog. Blog, as the SAP Champions has commented, is very important. This is a kind of database, a kind of knowledge. Is a lecture. It's a real lecture. It's a blog. So you can understand a whole solution reading, or a piece of that solution reading that blog. There's a big blog. There are sequence of blogs, a lot of kinds of blogs. If you want to create your own blog and doesn't know how to start, feel free to get in touch with me. I have done this before. Some guy from India has a blog for business partner in S4HANA, and so I give a support, and the blog was great to see good content. So I can help you out to establish a kind of route and split the blog in the right way, not so long, not so short, and with a good introduction. So count with me, just drop an email, I will share my contacts after this presentation. So for you, just a tip to beginner to start with blogs and enter your tag and select blogs for reading. Start reading 2 blogs per week. This is kind of field. For example, for me, I used to read 2 or 3 blogs per day. So I followed that tag, and I have activated the notice by email. So I receive by emails a lot of blogs on my preferred tags. So, but for a beginner, just start with 2 per week. Maybe you can increase. I believe you are going to read more than this. So in the next here, okay. For creation, as Catherine has recommended here in the chat, you have to, for your creation blog, I invite all of you to create your blog forward. This is a sequence, this is a sequence of blogs. And this opportunity for individuals create a blog talking about itself, about your personal life, your professional life, show a little bit what your daily activities And this is very cool. I really love it. People used to talk about the cities that people is living. And this is a good way to interact, to initiate with the community features. You understand how to create your blog, how to set up your blog tags. And so it's not so difficult. You have 2 or 3 fields, additional fields to fill over there. And it's a good way. After you post your blog forward, you see how it's easy to share your content there. And so I invite you to start in blogs. If you want to start with blogs, do the blog it forward, okay? You can check here in the QR code side here. And or if you join SAP Community website, blogs is written at the top here in the menu group, and it's easy to find how to blog. Okay, missions. So as I have commented before, when I was showing my quick journey in SAP Community, SAP Community gamification is improving year by year, and since a couple of years we have missions. Missions is the way to guide you to understand all features in SAP Community and obtain your reputation. When you see an SAP Community profile, you are able to check what kind of missions was accomplished, such as event speaker and blogs, if you are a qualified blogger, if you are a qualified question and answer participant. So it's easy to understand what's the level of participation of any profile in SAP Community through the missions. The missions can guide you to obtain the badges here. Look at that pictures. The badge represents all the achievements that you may have in SAP Community. And this is a good way to get noted with SAP Community profile. So, but using the badges and the missions, I'd like to comment about the moderated content in SAP Community. Is a reputation validation. And 2 weeks ago, Eduardo Chagas, he's a SAP mentor here in Brazil, has posted in LinkedIn a very interesting critical to people who share knowledge in multiple platforms, because we don't have moderated content validation commonly used in every platform around there. So when you open, for example, a LinkedIn, you don't know if that content, that blog came from another person or anyway, the copyrights is often unfollowed, right? People ignore sometimes the copyrights and capture content from another author, and nobody happens because nobody's there to validate the contents. The good point here in SAP Community that for me is the most important. When you open a profile and see that professional content, you have to be almost 100% assurance that is original content, that content is valid content. Moderator use to collect some part of blogs and something like this, and post in the Google just to search where is the source of that. And it's common, moderators in Brazil, like I do, I translate the posts from Portuguese to English and start to do a search in English blogs just to try to catch up people who is translating from English without give the right credits for the real author. And unfortunately, I'm looking to some situations like this in other platforms. And SAP Community, you'll be sure that the content over there is moderated. This is an assurance for your reputation there. If you post a blog in SAP Community, definitely the blog came from you, unless you have copied from another platform, or not the platform, but from another material that is not written in the digital world yet. okay, moderated content. So the thing is about events. The events here we used to say this is the SAP community in real life. Is the opportunity to meet each other, to shake hands in person. This is very good to participate in an event of SAP community. If you have an opportunity in your location to join SAP events such as SAP Insight Tracks, SAP Tech Nights, Meetups, or Stammtisch, don't lose this opportunity. It is incredible, incredible. People is always open to friendships, always open to receive you in the community. So this is, in my opinion, the best way to join SAP community through SAP events and have fun with the real world persons. This is be a very good support to interact virtually afterwards. Okay. Here I have a QR code. Okay, this QR code here I'm not displaying. I'm not going to show this. This is a presentation from Svea Becker, like this. Svea Becker has a presentation about the community-driven events in SAP Online Track. That was an online event in SAP. So I recommend you take 15 minutes in another moment.
And welcome.
15 minutes in another moment to watch these presentations. It's very great to understand the community events. Please, in another moment, scan here the QR code and watch the 15 minutes of presentation. Svea Becker has described it very well there. Okay, let's conclude here our presentation. I would like to talk to you about the power of action. We know a lot of authors of self-help contents, and the people talk about enthusiasm, motivation. We have to keep in mind that the point here is to nurture our power to act. To understand action is the capacity to start your purpose. Start your purpose. Give your first step. Action, move. And to many people came to me, oh, I would like to post a blog, but I'm shy. I don't know if my content is good or not good. You are not able to judge your content. People are going to judge your content, and people are not looking for do judgment for the individuals. The judgment of the people is if the content is okay or not. It has some viewers or not viewed. Okay, and but you must give your first step. I know people when came to me to organize and sidetrack event, and I am only the person that say everything is be okay. Everything will be okay. This is the only word that people want to hear, and everything happened here. Action. You need action. To speak about what came after action, I will back here some slide with my briefing journey in SAP Community. So why action give me the right motivation? So when I was selected member of the month, I was invited to perform my first presentation as a speaker in an Insight Track event. So after this, the SAP mentors from Brazil asked for me to join SAP Mentors Group. And so this was a very good motivation to me to continue, okay? Oops. Opportunity. Action brings you opportunities. Being part of SAP Mentors Group, I was able to attach my motivation to the opportunity, and I have participated in 34 Insight Track events here in Brazil, and I have virtually organized in Mexico, Peru, and I think both of these, Mexico and Peru and Colombia as well. And I have a participation as organizing in those 3 countries. So this is the opportunity in community, okay? It was motivated because I had action to do. I had that first step in. Action is friendship. I'm here, I think all of you that has presence in the digital world doesn't want to provide some information because there are a lot of people that forget about the relationship between people. It's commonly people came up to me to request stuffs. Wants to be hired, want to let the CV with me, want all my documentation in different solution, want my SAP books, but people forget about the relationship each other. It's a game relationship. The best game relationship is the friendship. And especially when we came from the business, the world of the implementation projects in SAP, we have the relationship between customer and partners. If we have a relationship based on friendship over there, it's the most commonly we have a successful project in a situation like this, because friendship is a game relationship I mentioned. Okay, and this is picture of people in events. All great people. Action also is live in community. Okay, living in community, we have the opportunity to meet new friends and to learn from great experts around the world. And this is my participation in some events around the world here, and was a pleasure getting in touch with all of these people. And I have thousands of pictures. Unfortunately, I could not share everyone. And so this is the great opportunity to live in community. You need action. You only need the first step. Okay, and keep in mind that success without happiness is failure. We are talking about reputation on your career, but don't think only about career, don't think only about job. You have to enjoy, because we have, for example, an event, SAP Stammtisch, and after every SAP Community event, we gather together to go out and have fun. Remember to have fun and be happy. Okay. So that's all. Feel free to reach out to me, sapmentor700@gmail.com. Okay. Thank you for watching.
Wow, that was a lot. A lot information. Maybe some new information also. Do we have questions to Marssel? There's one question in the chat.
Oh, lots of.
So what are the bases for blogs to get rejected apart from copyright issues?
Well, let me say, Sarita. Well, I don't have the right number, but it is a big number of blogs rejected here. And I recommend all of you read the rules of engagement. And before start in the community, is not so big. This was enhanced year by year. And but people skip this step and so start blogging everything. What I recommend you is to be original, and there's a big number of blogs rejected, and it's important for the community participants to have content like that moderated. As I have mentioned, we are looking for reputation there, and so in other platforms, when I see some content published, I don't know who I have to give the credits, right? And so this is the point. And so, but I don't have the number of rejected, but it's a big number. It's a big number. Community, SAP Community has 2 million visitors by month. And so the volume is big. Thank you for participating.
I can maybe add to that as well, if you don't mind, Marssel. since you know, I do blog moderation. If you've never written a blog post for the community before, your first 2 blog posts will go through moderation. So Kadi and I are part of the team that will review them. To reject a blog post outright, yeah, it would have to be something pretty severe in violation of the rules of engagement that Marcel just mentioned. So plagiarism, meaning, you know, you've copied someone else's work, is a big one. You know, we would reject a blog post outright for that. We'd also reject a blog post for spamming issues. So we've had people try to sneak links into their blog posts in order to do advertising and things like that. Those will never pass through. But, you know, beyond that, if you're new to blogging, you know, I or someone else on the moderation team will generally kind of guide you through the process. If you scroll up a little bit, I put a link into the tutorials. There is a tutorial for blogging. If you go into the resources section, there is a link for blogging information. Marcel mentioned rules of engagement. I put the link in there for as well. Beyond, the only other things that would get rejected is like if you don't follow the proper structure. If you just like do a bunch of screenshots with a little bit of text, I mean, it really should have your voice, have your perspective. It should do all the things that Marcel like kindly spoke about and offered opinions about. But, you know, for the most part, if you're willing to work with us, we're willing to work with you to get your blog post up on the community. But to like reject it outright, yeah, it would have to be some sort of severe rules violation or just an unwillingness to work with us to do the proper structure. No, you're quite welcome. Maybe I have a question since I'm already opening my big mouth, right? So at one point, Marcel, you had mentioned answering like 1 question a week, which I think is just a fantastic way for people to get their feet wet if they've never done Q&A before. Do you have any tips on how to put together a good answer to a question? Because I know I could talk about blogging all day, but when it comes to Q&A, I'd much rather listen to someone you talk about that topic.
For sure, this is very important, by the way. People, when open up questions in Q&A, people have to provide good information to have answer. Q&A, sometimes people confuse with kind of supporting companies, AMS, as it's called. In company, users use it with a lack of understanding, used to open some tickets to be supported with few information because we have the capability to interact with the company channels because all employees has tools to interact each other. So this mindset must be changed in SAP community because we don't have the opportunity from our side as a contributor to interact too much with the owner of the question, okay? And so the people that open that question must keep in mind that with few interaction in the forum, we have to answer that question. So pictures and step by step to reconstruct the issue is important. And which point the profile that person has reached out by investigating itself, and we have to know what's the stop point. And so it's important as well as a kind of etiquette rules to be used there. Use the right way to write the questions. Not everything is not urgent. People used to start a question like a urgent. No, this is not okay. We have to follow etiquettes there. And so the most important is to provide step by step of the solution that the question, step by step of reconstruction the issue. We have less interactions than real support in company, and this is the mindset that people has to be in mind.
Thank you. Good stuff.
You, Jared. Okay. Well, on the profile, let me monitor here if there's a missing point over there. Okay, I saw here Tami Paula has arrived. New Pection. I put my picture with Tami. I had to put my picture with Tami. Jerry, we don't have a picture, both of we have to schedule this screenshot.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll have to have another event one of these days, right?
Oh,
yeah, looking at all those pictures and watching the videos made me nostalgic and miss seeing everybody in person. So yeah, maybe
well,
one
that
of
was
these days.
great. Well, that record I remember very well when we were in Vegas.
Yeah.
All about the recording. And when I saw Fausto, do you remember Fausto? Fausto, by the way,
sure.
Fausto is completely reimagined. is resized. Fausto is thinner than me. And so...
Really? We have to shoot new video of him then. We're doing him a disservice, I guess, with those older videos. It's like, I don't look like that anymore.
Well, he's a bad influence to me right now because he's single right now.
Oh.
I told him, Fausto, I know I'm no longer able to get along with you. My wife is not going to permit this. Just kidding. Fausto's great. And
he
then
great.
he was very nervous to be there because I am talking about him. And I thought, no, Jerry has arranged everything there. This looks like a Hollywood studios. We're in Vegas, very close to Hollywood. Maybe you can be hired to be a movie actor. And then Fausto was the one who speak for longer time than others there. That was fun. He was comfortable there.
Yeah, he did. He had a lot to say. I would not have known that he was nervous because he was very natural. And you saw Barbel was in some of the videos as well. So everybody did a really great job. Maybe I'll just add something real quick in the 10 minutes because I don't see any other questions come in. But this reminds me of the other point you brought up, Marssel, about like friendship, right? And the sense of community. He definitely gave ideas on how you can participate in Q&A and blogging, but you can start even smaller than that. If you give somebody's blog post a like, or you upvote a question or an answer, I mean, to that alone, I think really means a lot to people. If somebody takes the time to write a blog post and like nobody really reacts to it, that can be a little disheartening. So if you are going through taking his suggestions and just even reading 2 blog posts a week, if you like it, make sure you leave a like, or even just leave a comment and say nice job, or provide some feedback.
Oh, yes.
Even little things like that goes a long way into like sort of building those friendships and that sense of community that Marssel was talking about, and you can make the connections that way. And at the same time, it's good karma. Not talking about karma points within the community. I'm talking more in a universal sense of the word. The fact that you just take the time to tell somebody, hey, I like your work. For people, writing a blog post is not necessarily an easy thing to do. I know, a lot of people writing on the community, they're writing in English as their second language, which, presents challenges as well. So if you just take the time to read it and provide feedback and just leave a like, that I think goes a long way in creating the sense of community that Marssel was talking about.
That's a good point, Jerry. People that is going to read a blog, just leave an interaction over there. Okay, good blog. Thank you for sharing. This is a good start. Okay.
And here I have the stupid question, and seriously, I'm still learning. So and if somebody is commenting a blog post that I wrote, how do I get notified? Because I never get this. I go to my profile and then turn on the notifications and then get it into my profile inbox. Maybe you can explain this real quick, or do I have to subscribe for myself? Or
have you activated the notifications, or?
Yeah, so I have to activate the notifications in my profile, right, under communications. And then I activate moderation events because I want to see if Jerry is again writing me a message that I copied content from him. So, so that is for moderation events, right? So I get alerts from the moderator. And then I turned on content I was mentioned in. So if you, Marssel, write a blog post about me, right? Then there is comments and answers to content I follow. I should also turn on, right? Oh yeah, I should turn this on. And the cool thing is that there is inbox and there is email. So I can also get email notifications for all of these things.
But I think you also have to follow the blog post itself, even if it's your own.
Oh, really?
Because otherwise, if people respond to comments that others posted, you won't get a notification.
That is true. So I just put a link in the chat, and what you want to do is make sure it's the very last one, updates on my content. You want to make sure that both of those are on. That means like if you don't have those turned on, you won't get a notification if somebody comments on your blog post. But to Barbara's point, if you want a notification if somebody comments on a comment in your blog post, you have to follow your own blog post. I know that's a little confusing. I propose that maybe for one of these future virtual tours, we should enlist a champion to talk about notifications and following and things like that, because I feel like you know, if you're having problems with this, Kati, and you work for the team, then I can imagine that our average member probably has some questions as well. So maybe that's something for a future call.
Yeah, there are so many things I have to turn on and off, right? Very cool.
And for those people on the call who do have follow-up questions, if you follow us, if you follow Kati or me or anybody else, any of the champions, you know, we tend to follow back, and once we follow each other, that gives us the ability to send direct messages. So, you know, this is my job. So if you ever have questions about the community on how to do things, I'm more than happy to assist. So, you know, if people followed me during the call, I made sure that when I saw people's profiles in the chat, I was following you, so we can now chat with one another via direct message. If you have questions like Kati asked, you know, we can always assist with that.
You can also ask me questions that I'm going then to ask Jerry if I don't know it.
Yeah, so you can go straight to the source if you wish, but yeah, you can speak to Kati as well. She's more entertaining than I am, if nothing else.
And by the way, on that same page that Jerry just posted, I see on the bottom there is also subscribe to newsletters, and I think there's one interesting newsletter you should definitely subscribe for, which is the Community Voice, the community newsletter, and also the other community newsletters, and all the newsletters are interesting. But in Community Voice, yeah, that's the one where you get updates about what's happening, what's new here, what is featured blog posts, featured events and stuff like that. So it's absolutely worth, I think.
Saw a question. I know we're almost out of time, but I did see a question come in, how Coffee Corner helps. I'm not sure if that's a question or a statement. If you wanted to maybe clarify that, if the question is how does the Coffee Corner help? Well, in terms of like, I think what Kati, the point was Kati was making earlier to support something that Marssel had sent, you know, Coffee Corner, you know, I mean, I'm not a deeply technical person, you know, most of the people within the community are developers, of course, so I can't get in and answer questions or, you know, post technical blogs, but I like to go in a Coffee Corner because that's sort of the off-topic area. And that's how kind of I made a lot of connections within the community, finding common interests. You can talk about hobbies, things that are of interest to you that are beyond the technical, beyond SAP even. So I think that's, I'm not sure, maybe, I hope that answers your question if it indeed is a question, but that's where I see the Coffee Corner helping. It's a great way to connect with people beyond just talking about the, you know, day-to-day career stuff of technology and SAP development, that type of thing.
Yeah, and maybe also to connect with people about same interests, right? Same, especially in this time or lately when we were not able to meet each other, and to have hangouts or coffee corner discussions, whatever you would exchange recipes. I did a blog post about food blogging. And taking pictures of food, so that has really nothing to do with SAP. But there were many people who are now connected with me, and we're still exchanging pictures.
I love
it's
it.
kind of community too. engaging with regional people from your region. It's also maybe the possibility if you want to do a hangout in your language with people and you want to discuss something. Maybe you can arrange dates through the coffee corner discussion. Yeah, the meetups. Okay, wow. 1 minute left. I think that's the time to wrap up. Give you a last chance to ask something or also to give your feedback to Marssel. I think, Marssel, you did a great job.
Thank you, Kati.
I'm clapping
Thank
my
you,
hands.
Jerry. Jerry has a great participation on my presentation with awesome recordings, as well as Svea. Svea, I have shared the awesome presentation of Svea, and I recommend everybody take a look on that. Thank you, Neil. Oh, Neil,
yeah.
No audio.
Thanks so much, and thanks for everybody who joined.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Marssel is again presenting in 2 weeks. So we have these sessions every first and third Tuesday of a month. So this is something that you can join every second week on a different topic, all about SAP Community. And in 2 weeks, Marssel is holding the session again in Portuguese. If you want to listen to that, if you want to get a feeling of Brazil, you should definitely join and listen. And other than that, it's all these events are listed in our community calls list. Again, every first and third Tuesday of a month, you should participate and follow us and join the conversation. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. See you in 2 weeks.
Take care, everybody. Yep.
Bye.
Take care, all. Bye-bye.
Bye.